Welcome. Today we're going to talk about the analytics panel of your C3 microcloud. Remember that only teachers and administrators can access this feature. First of all, we'll log into our C3 microcloud, and then, or via the menu on the left of the main page, choose the Analytics option. Afterwards, a panel will open containing several important pieces of information. Let's understand each one. Firstly, we have two boxes showing us the total number of views. The first of the contents contained within your C3 microcloud, and the second, as we can see, the total number of views of the learning paths. Next, we have two other boxes showing information about the total amount. The third about the content that is installed and available on your C3 microcloud, and the fourth, as shown on the screen, the number of existing learning paths. If you scroll down a little further, you'll see, as indicated on the screen, a box containing the content most viewed by C3 microcloud users. In this box, these contents will be displayed in descending order, i.e., from the most viewed content to the least viewed. There is also the option of scrolling down the page. If we click on the arrow on the right, we'll move on to the next most viewed content, and if we click on the little arrow on the left, as indicated on the screen, we'll return to the home page. Continuing the explanation, next to it we can see a similar box, but now containing information about the learning paths that are most accessed by users. As previously explained, the display is done in descending order, i.e., from the most viewed learning path to the least viewed. Also, by default, as indicated on the screen, we have the option of advancing to that page by clicking on the arrow on the right and returning to that page again by clicking on the arrow on the left. Scrolling down a little, we see a graph of the most active user profiles. In other words, those profiles that log into C3 microcloud the most. So here in our example, we have the teacher user profile being the most active in the system. Following the graph, we notice that the visitor user profile also uses the system a lot, followed by the other profiles as we can see. Next to it, we have another type of graph for visualizing user activity. Here, we have this visualization for the last week, i.e., from the date of the current day to 7 days prior. This graphical display shows the level of user activity over this period. We also have the option of extending the period of user activity to be analyzed. Simply click on the button indicated on the screen to change the view from the last week to the last month. In other words, ask to see the level of user activity over the last 30 days. This way, the graph will show the days when there was the most activity. Remember that this activity refers to logging into the system. Finally, we have a panel with proxy statistics information. In this panel, we can filter by date, choosing the period we want, as shown on the screen. Here, unlike the other boxes explained earlier, we can view the most accessed sites in descending order, as shown on the screen now. But also, if we click on the View button, we can change this type to ascending, i.e., the view goes from the least accessed site to the most accessed. Here, we can also define the number of sites we want to appear per page. In our example, and also by default, 5 sites are shown per page. If you want to change the number to be displayed per page, just click on the number as shown and choose the option you want from those available. So now I've chosen 10 sites per page, and so it shows me this quantity, which can be changed as the user wishes. In this panel, we also have information about the bandwidth that has been saved. Here, as you can see, we have 10 megabytes of internet saved so far. And finally, as in the other boxes shown above, we have the option of going forward through the pages by clicking on the right arrow, or back to the home page by clicking on the left arrow. Critical Links thanks you for your attention.